Hello team, welcome back to V Project UK. So, as you saw from the start of the video, we've prepped and cleaned our panel ready for the application of the two subjects of this video, which is Carpro Reload, which is an SiO2 sealer, and Kamikaze Collection Overcoat version 3.1, which again is another silicone sealer for your car. And we'll be discussing why these two products are so important if you've got a ceramic coating on your vehicle, or even if you don't have a ceramic coating on your vehicle and you want to apply some sort of protection, which these can be used as standalone protection in their own right. So before we talk about these two products, a quick recap of the products we used to prep our surface before we started this video. So the first thing we used was Carpro Reset. As you can see, this is the old style packaging because we've had this for some time, and this is one of the shampoos we use more often than not. And we normally dilute this into this container, and if you've not seen the reason why, we've got a video about the best method of washing your car. What I'll say at the beginning is that we've got numerous videos on the channel which covers a lot of these products in more detail. So if you've not seen the channel, and to save repeating the message throughout this video, just jump on the channel and you'll see more details about most of the products that we'll mention today, if not all of them. So make sure you check that out. So once we wash the car, the next step in your decontamination process is tar removal, and for that purpose we used Gyeon Q2M TAR. Great product for tar removal. We followed that by an iron removal stage, which was Carpro Iron X. Again, another fantastic product. And we followed that with the clay bar, just to make sure the surface was completely clear, I should say. And for that we used AutoFinesse clay, which is a fine clay, one of the best clays that we've used and highly recommended. So as we progress with the video talking about the two subjects, which is Carpro Reload and Kamikaze Collection Overcoat, I know sometimes when you watch these videos these messages can be a bit annoying, but subscriptions is something we just want to discuss. On the channel, which we launched about roughly 2 years ago, we've now got roughly 950 subscribers. So I just wanted to say thank you to all of the subscribers and the dedicated viewers on the channel, because as the channel grows, we can develop more content and develop the channel, showing you more hints, tips and products that we use when we are detailing ourselves. Now, one of the differences of our channel compared to other channels out there is that we don't just detail and showcase any product that comes onto the market. We only showcase products which are the best in their field. So for example, if we showcase an iron remover, we will showcase the best one from our use and experience. If we showcase something like a ceramic coat, we will showcase the best ceramic coats that we feel will give you the best performance for the cost and ease of use and application. So for example, Kamikaze Collection Miyabi coat is one of our favorite ceramic coatings, which is why we showcase it. But just going back to the subscribers, we have roughly 950 subscribers, but that only represents about 10% of our viewing population, which means there's about 8,100 of you who are regular viewers of the channel, and thank you for being so. However, your subscription will really make a difference. So if you're not on YouTube, just jump on YouTube, create an account, it takes seconds to do, and subscribe. And make sure you press the like button as well, because all these things will really make a difference to us here at V Project UK. And like I say, it will help us produce content for you. So first and foremost, let's talk about why a silicone sealer is important if you have a ceramic coated vehicle or even a non-ceramic coated vehicle. So you've ceramic coated your vehicle, and for that purpose you use, for example, Kamikaze Collection Miyabi coat, which comes in this awesome little perfume type bottle. It's just absolutely high quality. And again, we've got a video showcasing this product, so if you've not seen it, make sure you check it out. But this coating is just incredible in terms of the gloss, the protection and the hydrophobics. Highly recommended. However, one of the inherent problems of a ceramic coat, even a good ceramic coat like Miyabi coat, is just the inherent chemical nature of silicon dioxide, which is a main component of ceramic coats, which is that they hold on to minerals. So when it rains, you've got minerals within the rain, and as the water evaporates, it deposits those minerals on your paint, and silicon dioxide will just hold on to those minerals and it will show itself as water spots. Now, water spotting is fairly easy to remove if you've got the right products and you use the right techniques, and that will be a future video on the channel. But To avoid or minimize water spotting, what you want to do is protect your ceramic coat using a ceramic sealant, and that is where the two products of this video come in. The two ones that we generally use are Carpro Reload or Kamikaze Collection Overcoat, and this is version 3.1. And we'll just talk about each separately before we go into more detail. We'll go through the benefits and advantages, and then we'll talk about application of these on ceramic coated vehicles first, and then we'll mention if you don't have a ceramic coated vehicle where these would be beneficial as well. So as we've mentioned, a silicone sealer such as Carpro Reload will go over your ceramic coat. Reload has more than 5% SiO2 silicon dioxide, and as you can see from the label, it can be applied to a wet or dry vehicle, and it will give you a slick high gloss on your vehicle once you've used it. It will give you water and dirt repellency, it's fast and easy to use, and it says durability of 6 months. Now, from our use and experience, here is a real world use of this product. First of all, it can be used on a wet vehicle, and it will make drying your car much easier if you use a drying towel when you actually dry your vehicle. However, it won't adhere to the surface as good as if you use it when it's dry. So our recommendation is dry your vehicle first and then make sure you use this after. What you want to do with this product is spray it onto the towel, and we will demonstrate this in a while on the panel, which is why we cleaned it at the start of the video, is that you want to put it onto the towel, apply a tiny amount onto the actual panel itself, and then just apply it, and it will give you a wipe on, wipe off method, and it will give you roughly, depending on how often you clean your car and what shampoo you use and what mitts you use, etc., somewhere between 6 weeks to 2 months of protection. So that is Carpro Reload. In terms of this product, it's not a solvent. It doesn't have any polymers or waxes in there. It's basically an inorganic water-based sealer, which is made from specially modified SiO2, and it will give you a really good hydrophobic surface, and it will give you some gloss, which is just unbelievable. You have to actually see this to see it. When we demonstrate on camera, it just basically won't show up the gloss levels, and when you see it in real life, you'll see the difference that this will make to your vehicle. So it really has to be seen, although we'll try our best to get the results on camera when we do the demonstration. So like I said, this will give you somewhere between 6 weeks to 2 months of protection. Now, moving on to Kamikaze Collection Overcoat. This is version 3.1, which is the latest formulation. And as you can see from the label, it's no color, no scent, it's water-based formulation, and it's that sacrificial coating for your ceramic coat. Now, this product here, this is the 300ml bottle, is absolutely unbelievable. Basically, when Kamikaze reviewed the formulation for the overcoat, and this, like I say, this is the version 3.1, they looked at a number of things. First of all, they comprehensively reviewed all of the ingredients, and they modified the actual surfactant concentration within version 3.1 and also the type of silicone they used. So now it gives you even more beading, even more hydrophobics, and even more gloss than previous iterations of this formulation. They enhance the beading, the hydrophobics are superb, and this will give you roughly 3 months of protection when you apply it onto your vehicle. And again, when we demonstrate application, we'll go through the various methods you can apply this product. So there you go, number 3, Kamikaze Collection Overcoat version 3.1. Now, both this and Carpro Reload can be used on your paint, your glass, your trims and your wheels to great effect. However, the only thing we would say is do not use any of these products on your actual windscreen itself, because it will leave behind quite a thick layer, usually around 1 micron of silicone, and it can affect your windscreen wiper performance. At the time of making this video in the UK, 300ml of the Overcoat 3.1 costs around £68. And you can get a 100ml version which retails at around £48. So it is quite expensive, but we'll go through the benefits and advantages of this in a second. At the time of making this video, Reload costs around £25 for 500ml. So this is much more cost effective, but they both have some differences, and it'll be down to you to decide which one provides more value for you. Sometimes it's not just about the money, but the performance of the product, and we'll talk about that now. So here is the real world use and our experience of Carpro Reload. It's fantastic value, super easy to use. wipe on, wipe off formulation, and as long as you treat it correctly, wash it nicely, regularly with a good quality shampoo and a good quality mitt, it will last you somewhere between 6 weeks and 2 months. However, you will need topping up, and we'll explain how you do that towards the end of the video. It will give you some super beading, super hydrophobics. The self-cleaning elements are absolutely fantastic, and it will give you a really cool, crisp shine. Really cool, crisp glow, which just has to be seen to be believed. And as we mentioned before, hopefully it will come up in the video when we do a demonstration shortly, but this will give you that cool, crisp glow, and it just looks fantastic. The only disadvantage to Reload is it tends to be a dust magnet for some reason. So for example, what you'll find is on a hot sunny day when you've got lots of pollen around, you'll come back to your vehicle and your vehicle will just be absolutely covered with pollen. Some reason it just attracts dust. It's just a dust magnet. It's just the nature of the product. However, when it rains, the self-cleaning elements are absolutely fantastic. It will just wash everything away, but in the meantime it can attract some dust. So that's just the one thing to bear in mind with Reload. Now moving on to Kamikaze Collection Overcoat 3.1. The advantages of this is that over and above Carpro Reload, it will give you even more beading, even more hydrophobics, and it's not a dust magnet. It really repels dust really well. And again, when it rains, the self-cleaning elements of this product are just amazing. It will just literally look like you've washed your car, virtually washed your car, because everything just rolls away because nothing will stick to the actual surface. The difference between this and Reload, the main difference in terms of it will last slightly longer by a month, is that this will give you a warm carnauba type glow. It's not going to give you a cool, crisp glow that Carpro Reload will. This will look more like a wax in terms of the glow and gloss that it provides. So this will not be as shiny to the naked eye as Reload, but it will still give you some awesome gloss, which again you have to see to believe. So it doesn't make it not shiny, it's just that Reload is super shiny. So that is the main difference between this and Reload. So really it comes down to you and personal preference in terms of which type of gloss you prefer. Cool crisp glow of Reload or the warm carnauba glow of number 3. Now the other difference obviously is the cost, so that is something you need to factor in as well between these two products. But what we'll do now is we'll do a demonstration of application on the panel, and we'll hopefully pick up the gloss levels that both of these products provide. So what we'll do now is we'll just make sure that the panel is completely clean, and for that purpose what we'll do is we will use Angelwax Perfect Polish, which is a cleaner polish, so it contains very fine abrasives and also chemical cleaners, which will make sure that the panel is completely stripped before we actually start to do any application of sealant, which you would do for your vehicle anyway. So we're just following the steps that you would do before you apply a proper sealer on top of your ceramic coating. So you want to make sure it's nice and clean. You don't always have to do this step, but it would help with the adhesion of the sealer to make sure it lasts either that 2 months or 3 months. So here's the label, which you can pause if you want to actually see the details of this product. And what we'll be doing is we'll be using the Shinemate EB Cordless machine dual action polisher, and at the moment I've got a Rupes yellow fine pad, and we'll just make sure we get it nice and clean. So let's give it a go. Now, as you saw in that demonstration, when I finished that section right there, I didn't actually wipe it off because Angelwax Perfect Polish actually contains, as I mentioned at the beginning of this footage, chemical cleaners. So you actually want to leave it on there as long as you can, because the chemicals will do its work in terms of actually stripping anything that's on that surface, which is left behind after we've gone through the cleaning and decontamination stages. So for that reason, I didn't actually wipe it off and I left it to do its work. And what I'll do is I'll bring you in for a close-up so you can see what it looks like once you've actually finished doing the machine polishing. Also, as you saw on the machine polisher, I spread it on level 1 and then done the machine polishing on level 3.5. On that EB polisher, the Shinemate, that is roughly where you want to be when you're using this polish. You'll also notice that I didn't actually clean off the pad when I done the first section and moved on to the second section. That's because even though this panel looks quite big, it's actually quite a small section and there's no real need to do that because it's a small area. So for those eagle-eyed viewers that notice that, that's the reason why I didn't forget to clean the pad, but in this case, it's just a demonstration. There was no need to do so. So let me bring you in for a close-up and you can see what it looks like once I've actually finished. Okay, so here's a close-up and this is what it looks like when it's actually dried. I've only done a small section because this is the areas that I'm going to be applying the Carpro Reload and the Kamikaze collection overcoat. And as you can see, you'll know it's ready for removal when you can do a line. It will be nice and dry and it's actually super easy to remove once you've actually let it dry and the chemicals have done their job. The machine polisher, while we're doing it, or the fine abrasives would have physically abraded anything on the surface, and the chemicals are doing their work in breaking down anything that's left behind. So I'll mount you back on the tripod again, we'll wipe it off, I'll mark off the sections and we'll go on to the application of the two products. Now, before we get into the wiping, I just wanted to mention something because we'll probably get some comments afterwards, is that this towel, although it looks dirty, is actually quite clean. Sometimes when you use microfiber towels, they don't wash off completely. They will be clean, but they still look dirty. And when it comes to demonstrations like this, you know, you don't need to use a clean towel all the time, although this is clean. So for you eagle-eyed viewers, before we get comments, it is a clean towel, so don't worry about that. So we'll wipe it off now, I'll mark off the sections, and then I'll use some Gyeon PREP just to make sure it's clean, and we'll apply the products. So as you can see, wipe off is super easy. And we'll just make sure that all of the residue is removed. Flip the towel. And then we'll use some Gyeon PREP just to make sure that everything is removed. So I'm only cleaning the areas that I'm actually going to apply the actual products to, so we'll just make sure it's nice and clean, and hopefully we'll be able to see some really good gloss levels. Okay, so I'll mark off the areas and we'll be back shortly. So we've now got both areas marked off, and what we're going to do is we're going to use Carpro Reload in this section here and Kamikaze Collection Overcoat in this section here. I've left a slightly thicker line of tape in the middle because what we want to do is once we've applied it, we're going to remove the tape, and you'll hopefully see a difference in the gloss levels between the two in terms of cool crisp and carnauba glow. And we'll also see the difference it makes when you've got an untreated section of panel in the middle, which has now been completely cleaned and stripped using the polisher. So here are the best methods of application of both products, starting with Carpro Reload. Carpro Reload can be used wet or dry. However, in our experience, you're better off using it dry. It can be used as a drying aid to good effect. However, for maximum longevity, what you want to do is use it dry. And there's three methods of application. The first method is spray onto the panel, and this time we will be using a clean microfiber towel because we're going through the application stage, and just wipe it on and wipe it off. It's a simple wipe on, wipe off formula. The second method is to actually spray it only onto the towel, which if you don't want to get overspray on your vehicle because it's a windy day, you can spray it onto the towel and then just wipe it on and buff it off. The third application is, like we mentioned, use it when it's wet. However, we would not do that. What you can also do is apply it to a pad. You don't need much. A little bit of this goes a long way, and if you use too much, you will get some streaking. So once we've applied it, we will bring you in for a close-up to show you exactly how it looks before you wipe it off. So you can always apply onto a pad and apply it in a crisscross fashion or circular, or whatever you prefer. Ignore the writing on the back. And that will make sure you get a much more even coverage. So if you've gone through the steps of going through a ceramic coat, you might want to do that, because you'll make sure you get much more even coverage across the panel or your vehicle that you're doing. So those are the methods of applying Carpro Reload. So when it comes to Kamikaze Collection Overcoat, there's 3 methods again of applying this product. The first method is the wet or dry. You can apply this to a wet car or a dry car. However, when it comes to Overcoat version 3.1, ideally you want to apply this onto a wet car or a wet panel. So once you finish washing your car, apply this onto the ceramic coat or your vehicle, and it will give you much better adhesion. It's actually designed to be applied when your panel is wet. You can apply it when it's dry, but it won't last as long. So if it's wet, it will last around 3 months. If you apply it dry, it will probably last around 2 months. The other way of applying it is by using a machine polisher. And what you would want to do is use a really soft gloss pad, something like the Rupes white pad, which is perfect for this purpose. And if you apply it by a machine polisher, it will probably last slightly longer. However, what this has is some filling abilities. So it will actually fill some minor scratches you might have on your vehicle if you apply via the machine polisher. So those are the 3 methods of doing so. Now, in terms of our experience, what we find best to do is to avoid overspray. We normally apply Reload by applying it to the towel, a tiny bit onto the panel just to help it along, and then we make sure we spread and buff off straight away. In terms of overcoat, we will make sure the panel is wet, and again we'll just apply it to the actual microfiber towel itself, tiny bit on the panel just to help it along its way, and that will give you really good coverage. So we'll demonstrate these 2 right now. So make sure you give it a good shake. Again, onto the towel. A little bit will really go a long way, so you don't need much, maybe a couple of spritzes. There's some overspray on the panel already, and you're literally just applying it onto the surface, and it will become transparent almost immediately. Flip the towel and just buff it to a high shine. It really is user friendly. You don't need much product, and if you apply too much you will get streaking. So if you get streaking, you know that you've applied too much, and it really is as simple as that. It's applied to that section. So what I'll do now is I'll just flip the towel. I'll use the same towel but a clean side. So now what I've got is some water. Again, this is distilled water, but when you've washed your car, your vehicle will already be wet, so you just use the water that's already on your car. We're just going to spray some water onto that section. Again, a little bit goes a long way, so you just want to spritz it onto the towel itself. Tiniest bit on the surface itself, and then just spread the product. Again, it's spread super easy. It will become translucent almost immediately. Flip your towel and just buff it to a high shine. And it really is as simple as that. So there you go. You've now applied both Carpro Reload and Kamikaze Collection Overcoat. Carpro Reload will give you its gloss level straight away, whereas Kamikaze Overcoat will increase in gloss over the next 24 hours. So that's one thing you should bear in mind with these 2 products. But now what we'll do is we're not going to leave it for 24 hours. I just want to show you the instant results which you will get when you actually apply these products. We'll just remove the masking tape and I'll bring you in for a close-up, and hopefully you can see the difference in the gloss levels and also see the difference in terms of how much gloss is applied compared to the areas which we've not applied the product. So we'll do that now. Okay, so here we are in a close-up, and as I mentioned at the start of the video, sometimes on camera it's really difficult to pick up the differences in gloss levels between certain products because it just doesn't show up as it would in real life. So what we'll do, there's a Carpro Reload and the Kamikaze Collection overcoat. And here you can hopefully see the line between the two products. And I've left those residue lines there on purpose so you can see the difference and the line of where each one ends and each one begins. And I'm not sure if you can see this on camera, but to the naked eye you can see there's much more gloss, a crisper gloss on this side. If you look at that light just there, and when I move the camera you can see hopefully that there's a difference in the saturation of the paint. You can see that it's much less glossy, much more glossy there compared to there. And when you go to this side, you get much more of a warmer glow. I'm not sure if that's coming up on the camera. Hopefully it is. But we'll just get a light on there, see if you can see the difference. Not sure if that's showing up on the camera, but hopefully you can see that there is a difference in saturation of the paint. And you can also see the slightly different gloss levels. Hoping that comes up on the camera, although it's quite difficult to see. So I'm just going to mount you back on the tripod and we'll go through one more thing before we conclude this video. So here's a really important detailer's top tip for you. Something we've mentioned on the channel numerous times is that of layering. So for example, the purpose of this video is to demonstrate the ceramic sealants, which by the way, they can be used on non-ceramic coated cars as well. They can both be used as standalone ceramic sealants for your vehicle. However, when it comes to layering, you've now, for example, ceramic coated your car, you've now applied either Carpro Reload or Kamikaze Collection overcoat. You spent time and effort doing that, and you want to maintain that. You've also used either Reload or Kamikaze Collection overcoat for a reason, because you want the gloss, the hydrophobics, the beading, the self-cleaning elements. Whatever the reason is that you've used that product, you would have chosen that over all the hundreds and thousands of products out there for a reason. And you want to maintain that. So once you've washed your vehicle, these products are not detailing sprays. They are ceramic sealants in their own right. So they should not be used as a detailing spray. However, sometimes you've washed your car and you want to go over it with something just to maintain that shine and gloss because you might have some tiny water spotting or residues along your vehicle. What are you going to do? Because if you use another detailing spray, that will just mask and cover the properties of either Carpro Reload or Kamikaze Collection overcoat, which means there's no point of using them because you've now covered the properties of those products. So detailer's top tip. Get yourself a small spray bottle, and we do mean a small spray bottle. Just make this as you need to use it, because sometimes adding more water to these products will actually denature the silicon dioxide. So just make small amounts and use them as you go. And basically mix either Carpro Reload or Kamikaze Collection overcoat, which are both water-based. So in this example, this is the Kamikaze Collection overcoat. Mix it 10:1 with water. So obviously this bottle we've used most of it, but you just fill the whole thing 10:1 with water and Kamikaze Collection overcoat and use that as a detailing spray, because that will just boost the properties of the Kamikaze Collection overcoat or Reload that you've got. It will then give you that gloss and hydrophobics and beading. It will just revamp the sealant that you've got on your vehicle and make your car look super shiny and super clean. And you're not masking it, you're just layering the product which you've got on there already. So that is a detailer's top tip. 10:1, whichever product you're using, and use that as a detailing spray. So there you have it, Carpro Reload and Kamikaze Collection Overcoat version 3.1. So we hope you found this video useful. If you did, make sure you subscribe. And remember, as we mentioned at the start of the video, only 10% of viewers on the channel have subscribed. So if you're watching, please do subscribe, give us that thumbs up, make sure you hit that bell icon to get alerts for all our future videos, and make sure you check us out on Instagram. Once again, thanks for watching. We hope you found this video useful, and we'll see you on the next one.